So here's my rule sheet that I've been defining my various different rules within for this particular level of coverage, for that $100,000 level of coverage. The way to look at this is by using my rule vocabulary on the left-hand side of the screen. I've defined what the values of these particular data fields, such as up here, the quote dot property state, when the value of a given condition meets the specified defined state, in this case being quote.property state equals Alabama in Rule 1, Alaska in Rule 2, and so on, that I'm going to assign the value of 2896 to the field quote.premium. So when Corticon receives a payload on the input of quote.property state equals Alabama, it will assign the value of quote.premium to be 2896. And you'll see when I'm highlighting anything in this first rule column, I'm also seeing highlighted the corresponding rule statement for this particular rule. Now, rule statements are essentially going to enable me to document in plain language what rule has fired and only which rules have fired. And these will be sent back populating out the dynamically filled out variables within the actual rule statement here. So instead of base premium for home insurance coverage in quote.property state in curly braces, I will see at runtime the actual value of whichever the quote.property state passed in is. Now, I am only currently referencing the rule column 1 here, but what enables me, or the real benefit of having these curly braces, is I don't need to write a description of each rule over the course of this entire rule sheet when they might fire, but I can instead, by virtue of the fact that Corticon is going to look at whatever the field is, whatever the value is in this quote.property state field, it can auto-populate into this curly braces, so I don't need to limit myself to just referencing column 1. I'll take a quick look. I think it's 51 states since we're including the District of Columbia. And so if I reference 1 through 51 with just that colon there, now I can apply that rule message to every single one of these rules should they fire, and only when they fire. So at runtime, no matter what state we have and no matter what the applicable premium applied thereto, I'll have a dynamically populated description of which specific one of these rules has been applied by virtue of that dynamic rule statement.